My name is Stacey Yvonne. I'm with Pride.com. We are speaking to lovely Journey star, there we go, of Lou. Tell us how you got involved with this project.
Oh, it was actually my manager, Adam Marshall, who sent me the script and was actually educating me about the writer, Maggie Cole, who wrote the script, a client of his. He was, I'm producing a lot more films, and as I was reading the script, I was like, yeah, she's an amazing writer. I'm a fan, but this role is also pretty incredible. And I'm like, what's going on? And so I immediately actually emailed J.J. Abrams, my Lovecraft Country boss, and I started petitioning for the role and met with Anna Forster, our director, and the rest is history.
Well, I love that not only is it female-led, but you have an older female dealing with it. We have black women that we're dealing with. It's all of these demographics that people say, oh, nobody wants to watch that. And it's like, well, of course they do. What kind of gave you the confidence to know that this was a story that needed to be told?
I feel that it's an essential story that so many of us can relate to, regardless of your background. It's like, it's a testament to human will and willpower to protect those that you love, and that primal thing that clicks on in all of us when someone messes with those that we love. And so I don't think that's gender specific or background specific, race specific, that's a human story. And you place those stories within very unique and specific circumstances, and it makes for great narrative storytelling.
Exactly. It's very entertaining. I will say that off the bat. And I love the twists and turns. As a producer, was there anything, any kind of input that you got in that you were most proud of or that meant a lot to you?
I think I'm most proud of the collaborative process that we had with the screenplay. And with my character, Hannah, just wanting to flesh out the dynamics of her and Lou. I spent a lot of time at the Genesee Center here for domestic survivors, domestic violence survivors. And Karen Earl, she does God's work, really opened up her wealth of knowledge to me about women who are survivors of domestic violence. And it was really important to make sure that Hannah was not portrayed as a victim. She'd been victimized. And these women are survivors, but these women are not weak. They are strong. It is their circumstances, right, that are unfortunate. But I wanted to make sure that we capture just a level of truth within that, and so, yeah, J.J. Abrams, Hannah Miguel, and the entire Bad Robot team were pretty collaborative with all my research and wanting me to have a seat at the table.
Well, I absolutely love it, and I love that you made that distinction that they weren't victims, they were victimized. It's such a nuanced thing, and you really need that background and that knowledge, and I love that you've done that research.
Well, I think too much in society, too often we judge women who are survivors of different circumstances, and instead of lifting them up and having a level of understanding and empathy, we judge them like Lou. Initially judges Hannah. So it was interesting. We really wanted to try to really inspect that and try to get that right.
We are here with the wonderful, the enigmatic, the iconic Allison Janney, Queen Janney, star of Lou. Tell us how you got involved with this project.
I love that you used the word enigmatic, because that's how, when I first started reading this script, I thought, what a mysterious, enigmatic woman. I was just fascinated by her, and kind of was a page turner for me, because I just wanted to know who this woman was. And I had been looking for a while. I think we actors like to do something completely different than the thing we just did before. At least I do. I love to find things that are outside my comfort zone. And this genre is something I certainly have never been invited to before. And so when this came, I kind of conjured it up, because I wanted to do an action kick-ass, but play a character like this who's a badass. And Lou is that. And so I said, yeah, I met with Anna Forster, the director, and she wanted to make sure I knew what I was getting into. She said, you're going to get dirty, you're going to get, I said, you don't have to worry about me complaining. I I bring it all, I get it done, I don't leave anything on the table. I get it, I throw myself in, and I'm prepared for something like this. I feel like I prepared my whole life for a role like this because I grew up with brothers who beat the hell out of me all the time. I was like, always had to fight my way out of something, and I was an athlete, and I used to, shoot, skeet, and handle guns and ride horses. I did a lot of things, and I'm a huge dog lover, which was very helpful in this particular movie. I had one of the best dog co-stars I've ever had. So I felt, even though I was a little afraid, I felt like I was ready to take this kind of role on. And
I gotta say, at my age, my peak of physical fitness was doing like 10,000 steps while at TIFF. I see you in here kicking butt and taking names, and that speaks for me to a passion. There's something in this story that kind of ignited you. What was that for you?
I wanted to. I think figuring out who Lulu was and what her journey was and what her shame was and her pain, wanting to bring her to life, loving the fact that we were telling this story about these two very strong women who were strong for very different reasons, who chose very different paths in their lives, and yet they had to find a way. They didn't have a lot of respect for each other at the beginning, and you see them find she helps Lou with her impenetrable, personage. She pierces that and shows her another way, and I think Lou gives Hannah a gift as well, and that journey was very rewarding for me to work on with Journey. In the midst of all the action thriller stuff and the crazy elements that we were fighting against, that helped us. It was a pain in the ass, but when we were in the scene and the wind and the rain is blowing and we're freezing cold, you kind of didn't have to do as much acting. You just were there with each other getting through it.
Right.
We had to just get through it together, and we did, and no one got hurt, and we had a hell of a lot of fun, and I just hope people have a good time watching this at the bottom of everything. I just want people to enjoy themselves and have a good night watching us go through hell.
Miss Ridley Bateman, who plays V in Lou, tell us about the journey that V goes on.
Well, the journey that V goes on it's kind of scary, and even though that I knew that it was fake, I still got a little scared with all my castmates acting so serious.
Well, was it hard to kind of break out of that? Like after they yelled cut, were you like, oh my God, I'm in trouble?
I kind of stayed a little bit scared for a few minutes afterwards, but then I realized that it was all fake, and then I was fine.
So where do you think V's strength comes from to kind of get through everything that she has to go through?
Well, I think it comes from courage, that she knows that her mom is going to come to save her, and but she just knows that she's going to be safe in the end.
I like that a lot, and I think it's very important for kids to know that they are safe and that they have someone that loves them. What was it like working with Journey?
It was really fun working with Journey. She's really nice.
We are standing here with John Cohen, one of the producers of Lou. Tell us what drew you to the script and to the story.
I read a lot of scripts, and this was one that both felt like it had a character I'd never seen before and that immediately jumped off the page in Lou, and that had some surprises built in, which I won't spoil here, but that genuinely, gave me a shock in the best way. It's rare when you find a twist where it feels like it's surprising, but it also feels right and feels inevitable, and this had that. And beyond that, just some great dialogue and a great sense of humor from Maggie Cohn's original script. But again, just a chance for an older actress to play a role that you just don't get to see ever, really.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So we kind of hit the trifecta. We have a women-led script. She's an older actress. How do you kind of sell something like that? Or do you just say Allison Janney and they're like, let's do it?
No, it took a while, and it was at another studio before it came over to Netflix, and I think that people's fear of like, oh, older women don't want to see action, and there was a fear to it. Whereas for us, this gets people who love action, and it gets an older audience, and we felt like it could cross through all these barriers and be something really special. And thankfully, Netflix saw that opportunity as well. And we like things that don't fit neatly into a box, and this one doesn't. It breaks some rules in a really fun way. So we're glad that Netflix saw the opportunity in it that we did.
Was there anything as a producer that you were able to kind of add into that you're proud of or excited about?
I think when we started, there was Lou was such a gratefully forged role, but we really had some work to do with Hannah, and I think that the time we spent to really bring her up to an equal to Lou and make her a great character, and I shouldn't take much credit for it because Journey was also hugely instrumental in that, and she's executive producer on this, and she came on and really helped build out that character, flesh it out, did the research, worked with the writers, and brought her to life in a way that made it a real two-hander, and that was exciting to see.